Okay, I will put some feedback on your writing first here. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the first one is the grammar point is okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. I saw you have been using some word went down
Mm-hmm.
and drop a lot. Change. What? Didn't change much. Gonna mean sort of. Okay, based on this one, I can upgrade that and I will put it on. Okay, evolution in the UK went down.
Mm-hmm.
We can use this when use another word and decline, right?
Yeah.
And normally people will say sharply or right here. It's a sharply point and the biggest change, or you can say the biggest modification
Mm-hmm.
or evolution drop a lot. So we normally don't use a lot in writing. So I would refer you to say something like it's the same thing with decline and drop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm, I would say sort of sustain, sustain. Okay, let's
Mm-hmm.
say saw a considerable drop. Didn't change much. So that means is they remain stable.
Mm-hmm.
So by the end of the month, it became the main source of population. So it stood at the dominant source of pollution. Because you already use the sort right here and then you continue in industry with the last source, then I could change. Oh no, my bad. We use another word for this one, like category or item sector in this case, producing 6 million tons of pollutants. Okay, this number drop again. So I would refer to use another word. Mm, Not went down, not drop, just fell.
Mm-hmm.
That's ending now. So, okay, so it all decreased, right? And then now let's play experience a degree. Maybe emissions of household, this one, right? A slight
Mm-hmm.
degree or a modest degree. Starting at 1 million tons and fall to 0.5 million tons by the end of the period. Okay, so I need to see the comparison at this point.
Mm-hmm.
6 to 2.5. You see the big gap. Okay. The reason why this one is huge and this other is too small. Okay. So you can put an add emissions contributed the most I'll write this volume with the gap of 5 million tons. So that means 6 compared to 1 is still like, at the beginning, it's like 6 times bigger. But then at the end, it's close to number 2. So that means the gap also went down from 6 times bigger than only double. Okay. At first, then closely. Comparing to transport and household, right? What factor at the end? Transport was different. Okay. I will upgrade this one here a little bit. Was different pattern. It stays steady at around 3 million tons for the whole 15 years. Because the industry pollution declined significantly, transport became the UK main source of air pollutant by 2005. The other more sources failed until they was almost gone. Which mean, okay, moderately. I think we can change this one to disappear. Okay. Now we will change to pollution. So contain me nations also industrial contamination. Oh, maybe this one without N. Okay, so we're done with this one. Now let's have a look at task 2. And I will happy to upgrade your idea a little bit. What is the more important things in a person's life? I believe that if they do not have a good career, your life have no meaning. I disagree with this opinion because I think so. In this essay, uh, okay, this essay will indicate that because I personally think that, and then you add to due to following explanations. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can say due to further analysis.
Okay.
My bad. Okay. Will indicate many people. I would like to use some conjunction.
Mm-hmm.
So why other? We put things here. It's better to use believe because it's stronger, And then
Mm-hmm.
other belief we can change to argued.
Okay.
Firstly, word is important because they need money. And then this one can change into a stable career,
Mm-hmm.
require the financial security and earning ability.
Mm-hmm.
Without it, we cannot buy food, and then you can afford basic living need, such as edit here. Moreover, a good job can make a person feel proud of themselves. So you can expand more word here. Okay. Likely. For instance, if someone is a successful, okay. Now, according to some social experience, for instance, so based on your social experience, you can give the example. If someone is a successful manager, they feel they are doing something good with their life, and you can change this
Mm-hmm.
one. They find that they are doing something good with their life and meaningful. And then you have to change this one into plural nouns. This give them the reason to get up every morning.
Mm-hmm.
So that means this inspire them, right?
Yeah.
Mm. And get inspired with the sense of responsibilities. I feel that they have responsibility to deal with every day. However, I do not think life is meaningless without a career. Okay. Or you can say, I will argue. I would argue that life is without a career. Okay. By looking closer to uh, some evidences, many people find happiness in other things. Okay. Yeah. For example, family is the most important thing for most people. And you know that the most important thing can say plays a vital role. You saw that
Okay.
in the reading.
Yeah.
Spending time. Okay, so does spending time with someone you love or having parents can bring more joys than salary. Did you care how much work?
What do you mean by that?
Uh, do you have a look at the workout after you finished?
No. No.
Okay. Yeah, I think that we need to add more details here, and as a result, so it can be enough like 220 50 words.
Mm-hmm.
As a result, people can people push their uh, state of mind and spirits. Mhm. Okay, whatever. As well as, and you know, as well as after they spend time with the family, as well as recharge battery or
Mm-hmm.
charge the battery or their energies for the upcoming week. So, secondly, health is also very necessary. Okay, and we have to avoid very in writing.
Mm-hmm.
Health is also necessary. Oh, okay. Right. Oh, retire. That's better for you. You know this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put something
Yeah.
first that we should
Mm.
prioritize. If you work too hard and become sick, your career cannot help you. That's correct. Okay. If you work too hard and become sick. Okay, so if you dedicate dedicate to hard work and get burned out. You know, burned out. That means you
Yeah.
work a lot, you study a lot, you didn't have enough time to rest, and then your health went down. And then one day you feel like you couldn't have enough energy to carry on anything
Mm-hmm.
emotionally and physically.
Yeah.
Or person needs to have a balance between work and life health. Therefore, we need we need conjunction. Therefore, okay, also a need. You use also again are
Mm-hmm.
considered as as standard, and the standard need to obtain a meaningful life. A job is just one part of who we are. It's not everything. So that means a job plays one part of who we are. It's not everything to express your identity. In conclusion, what is necessary to earn money and feel successful, but this is not the most important things. Okay. I believe that everything depends. Okay. We keep this one,
Okay.
but this is not the most important thing. Is something you can change. But other, the other social, the other social connection or factors or element of social features for a personal development should not be ignored due to then I had this significant feature for a personal development should not be ignored. I believe that family, friends, and health are more valuable. Okay, and that's everything.
Okay.
After this, I will move on to listening practice. because
Okay.
yesterday we only focused on reading. Oh, okay, let's move on. And all right, let's
Ielts 20, published by Cambridge University Press and Assessment.
you can hear the sound, right?
Yeah.
Okay. In this section, you need to write one word only, and this will be the name of the restaurant with some detail of reason for recommendation and other comments. Okay. We will begin now. Do you have
Okay.
any questions?
No.
No. Okay.
Share, which always works really well if you're in a group.
Worth thinking about.
Yeah, there's a lively atmosphere and the waiters are really friendly. The only thing is that you need to pay a £50 deposit to book a table.
A lot of restaurants are doing that these days. I should have a look at the menu to check there's a good choice of vegetarian dishes. A couple of my friends have stopped eating meat.
Not sure. I'd say the selection of those would be quite limited.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 5 to 10. Questions 5 to 10.
I've just thought of another idea. Have you been to the Audley?
No, don't think I've heard of it. How's it spelt?
Audley. You must have heard of it. There's been a lot about it in the press.
I don't tend to pay much attention to that kind of thing.
Because it say the questions from 5 to 10.
Oh my God. Really?
I
To
don't
an
know
answer
why
sheet.
they...
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Now turn to part 1. You will hear a woman. You have some time to look at questions 1 to 4. Carefully and answer questions 1 to 4.
Okay, yeah, that's the right one. We can start now.
I've been meaning to ask you for some advice about restaurants. I need to book somewhere to celebrate my sister's 30th birthday, and I liked the sound of that place you went to for your mum's 50th.
The Junction. Yeah, I'd definitely recommend that for a special occasion. We had a great time there. Everyone really enjoyed it.
Where is it again? I can't remember.
It's on Grayson Street, only about a 2-minute walk from the station.
Oh, that's good. I'd prefer not to have to drive anywhere, but I don't want to have to walk too far either.
Yes, the location's perfect, but that's not necessarily why I'd recommend it. The food's amazing. If you like fish, it's probably the best restaurant in town for that. It's always really fresh, and there are lots of interesting dishes to choose from. But all the food is good there.
Is it really expensive?
It's certainly not cheap, but for a special occasion, I think it's fine. It's got a great atmosphere, and before dinner you can go up on the roof and have a drink. It's really nice up there, but you need to book. It's very popular as the views are spectacular.
Sounds good. So that's definitely a possibility then. Is there anywhere else you can think of?
If you want somewhere a bit less formal, then you could try Paloma.
Where's that? I haven't heard of it.
No, it's quite new. It's only been open a few months, but it's got a great reputation already. It's in a really beautiful old building on Bow Street.
Oh, I think I know where you mean. Right beside the cinema.
Yes, that's it. I've only been there a couple of times, but I was really impressed. The chef used to work at Don Felipe's, apparently. I was really sorry when that closed down.
So is all the food they serve Spanish then?
Yeah, you can get lots of small dishes to share, which always works really well if you're in a group.
Worth thinking about.
Yeah, there's a lively atmosphere, and the waiters are really friendly. The only thing is that you need to pay a £50 deposit to book a table.
A lot of restaurants are doing that these days. I should have a look at the menu to check there's a good choice of vegetarian dishes. A couple of my friends have stopped eating meat.
Not sure. I'd say the selection of those would be quite limited.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 5 to 10.
Can you share with me your guess? Or you need to
Well,
list?
the first one, I think it's fish. Second is roof. Third is Spanish. And four, I didn't know the answer yet.
So this one's Spanish, but 4 is something else.
Yeah.
Is it like the roof?
Roof?
I think that she mentioned something about someone who really restricted with food. I go back that a little bit, just right here.
Not sure. I'd say the selection of those would be quite limited.
Something about vegetarians?
Yeah, that one, yes. Like this.
Vegetarian dishes.
Yeah, and he said like, I'm sure it's selection.
A couple of my friends have stopped eating meat.
Not sure. I'd say the selection of those would be quite limited.
Yeah. Okay. Now we continue with number 4, the name of the restaurant, the location, and the details, and something that he recommend.
Now listen and answer questions 5 to 10.
I've just thought of another idea. Have you been to the Audley?
No, don't think I've heard of it. How's it spelt?
Audley. You must have heard of it. There's been a lot about it in the press.
I don't tend to pay much attention to that kind of thing. So, where is it exactly?
It's in that hotel near Baxter Bridge, on the top floor.
Oh, the views would be incredible from up there.
Yeah, I'd love to go. I can't think of the chef's name, but she was a judge on that TV cookery show recently. And she's written a couple of cookery books.
Oh, Angela Frayne.
That's the one. Anyway, it's had excellent reviews from all the newspapers.
That would be a memorable place for a celebration.
Definitely. Obviously it's worth going there just for the view, but the food is supposed to be really special.
She only likes cooking with local products, doesn't she?
Yes. Everything at the restaurant has to be sourced within a short distance, and absolutely nothing flown in from abroad.
I imagine it's really expensive, though.
Well, you could go for the set lunch. That's quite reasonable for a top-class restaurant. £30 a head. In the evening, I think it'd be more like £50.
At least that, I should think. But I'm sure everyone would enjoy it. It's not the kind of place you leave feeling hungry, though, is it? With tiny portions.
No, the reviews I've read didn't mention that. I imagine they'd be average.
Well, that's all great.
Part 2.
Okay. Can you spell the name of the place?
I think it's Autley.
That's correct. Oddly. And where is it?
At the top of a floor. I think so.
No. A floor is something bottom. Top is like a roof.
Yeah.
So like it's a top of a building, something like that. Let's
Yeah.
keep it there. And what about 7?
I don't know the answer of that question, but I guess it's the view.
Mostly reviews.
Yeah,
On the reviews. And
on the reviews. Okay.
what do they use?
8 local ingredients.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think how much either lunch costs?
I think it maybe 30 or 50. I would go 30.
What
And the
about
last one is average.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay, there's only this one that's missing. I go
Yeah.
back after she spelled the name.
L-E.
I don't tend to pay much attention to that kind of thing. So, where is it exactly?
It's in that hotel near Baxter Bridge.
A hotel?
Yeah. A hotel near the bridge.
On the top floor.
Oh,
The top floor. That he confused you, the top floor. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are correct. Vegetarians and the other. That all correct. The review is a little bit messed up, but okay.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to question 11. Here, headers say pottery gốm sứ differ from other art forms because it lasts longer in the crowd. And more people have done that before. It can be repaired easily. I don't think so because pottery, just like glass, you broke it and then you have to cut another one. Yeah. Archaeologists sometimes identify the use of ancient pottery from the clay, the marks, the basic shape. The mark is just like something you can see on the surfaces. Yep. 13. Some people join headers pottery class because they want to make an item that look old. Find something that they are good at. Make something that will outlive them. So what is outlive? That means like try to make them more lively and excited, things like that.
Okay.
Question number 14. What does she value most about being a potter? Maybe the calming, the messy nature, or the physical benefits. Most visitors to Elderman pottery will bring friends, or they have never made a pot before or try to learn techniques quickly. She reminds her visitor that they should put on aprons. You know this one, right? Aprons. The thing you only wear in the kitchen to avoid dirt on your clothes. Change their clothes. They have to change clothes. Take off the jewelry. Okay, we will start from 11.
Okay.
Everything at the restaurant.
Okay.
But the food is... No, the reviews I've read didn't mention...
We'll have a look at the equipment.
Answer questions 11 to 16.
Hello and welcome. My name's Heather McCallum, and I'm one of the potters who work here at Edelman Pottery. Before we go into the workshop, I just want to say a bit about the craft of pottery. Then we'll have a look at the equipment, and you can try making a pot of your own. Like many people, I'm sure you know that pottery as an art form is tens of thousands of years old, and we know this because it stands the test of time. Things like baskets and pictures don't survive in the earth in the same way that pots do. And even if ancient pots are found in small pieces, they still provide a lot of information about the past. There's no doubt that pottery has given archaeologists a fascinating insight into how ancient humans lived. The shape of an artifact may have been lost, but archaeologists can tell whether the pots were for, say, storage or cooking by examining the impressions on the clay, the scratches from tools, and the clay itself can reveal where the pots came from. When I ask people why they want to take a pottery class with me, they sometimes talk about these things. Like our ancestors, they hope that something they create will also last longer than they do, that their work, whether it is good or not, might say something about humanity many years after their death. Of course, you will all have your own reasons for coming here. As far as I'm concerned, what I love most is the concentration you need to make a good pot. That focus takes you away from the stresses of everyday life. If you're elderly, it's also good exercise for hands and wrists and helps with arthritis. And of course, it's a fun activity for children because it's so messy. Here at Edelman Pottery, we show you some of the basic pottery techniques so that you can use these to create whatever you wish. A gift for a friend, perhaps. Like nearly everyone who comes here, I'm sure this is the first time you will have tried the art. So we'll keep things simple today. Now, before we move on, can I just say a word about what you're wearing? As we said in our email, please remove any watches, necklaces, etc. and put them somewhere safe. If you have long hair, do tie it back now. We'll provide aprons later, but I trust your clothes are old but comfortable, not your favourite t-shirt or jeans.
So can I ask about 16 first? What do you say?
16 is C.
C. And 15?
15 A, B.
14?
A.
13?
C.
And 12?
I think it's A. And 11 is also A.
I go back to 12, okay?
By examining the impressions on the clay. Past. There's no doubt that pottery has given archaeologists
That's one.
a fascinating insight into how ancient humans lived. The shape of an artifact may have been lost, but archaeologists can tell whether the pots were for, say, storage or cooking by examining the impressions on the clay.
They examining the impression on the clay, and she mentioned like
Scratches from tools.
scratches from tools.
So B.
Yeah, that would be the mark. And 11? What is 11?
I think it's A.
A. Yeah. So only 12B. Okay.
Yeah.
We continue with 17, 18. She tried to explain about kin. Kins. Maybe the functions, or when they invented, or the way to keep them safe, where to put one in your home. Some people use what some people use instead of one. And to point the header, make about bottle tools. Hard to hold, worth buying, essential, or memorable names available for use by participants. Okay. I guess we will continue.
Okay.
And many years after their death. And of course, it's a fun activity for children, perhaps. Like nearly everyone who comes here, I'm sure this is the first time you will have tried the art and put them somewhere safe.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 17 to 20.
Okay, we begin now.
17 to 20.
So now we're in the workshop. Have a look around. There's a lot going on. To make pottery that will last, you need a potter's wheel, a kiln, which is basically a very hot oven where you fire the pottery, and some tools. So first, the kiln. If you look over in the far corner, you'll see one of ours. Since their invention, kilns have changed very little, though in the past 20 years, a lot of progress has been made in temperature control. Basically, a kiln removes the water from clay at temperatures of around 1,000 degrees Celsius. This allows anything you've made to set permanently in shape. It's a pretty ugly, heavy object that's hard to keep in a house or flat, so most people don't have one. You may think, can't I use my oven? Well, that's possible, but domestic ovens don't really get hot enough, and eventually the clay will crack and fall apart. Some people fire pottery in a fire pit outside, but bear in mind that can be dangerous. You also need to know about safety procedures for kilns, as they release toxic compounds into the air. Every potter needs a potter's wheel. This machine is used to shape the clay into an object with circular walls or sides, such as a bowl. Its invention revolutionized the pottery industry, allowing multiple items to be produced in a day. Lastly, there are a number of different tools that potters use, depending on what they want to make. When you start, your hands can make all kinds of shapes and curves without relying on a sculpting tool. However, there are some basic tools that you will need to handle the clay on the wheel. Some look very strange and have even odder names that you may find hard to remember. Rather than go through them all now, I'll just name a few tools as we go along. We can provide these, and I wouldn't recommend spending money on them yet. So, let's try making a pot of your own. If you sit down...
Let's see. What's your guess for 17 and 18?
I think it's what their function is and ways of keeping them safe.
Like, where is it? What? Okay. Why I cannot press it?
Oh, because the last one you have ticket.
Ah, way of keep them safe. And number 19 and 20?
I think some are hard to hold and some have memorable names.
I would like to go back to this one. First, the function is good, but no, that's not the way she mentioned keeping it safe. So I will start it from here.
Some tools. So, we'll provide aprons later. There's a lot going on. To make pottery that will last, you need a potter's wheel, a kiln, which is basically a very hot oven where you fire the pottery, and some tools. So, first, the kiln. If you look over in the far corner, you'll see one of ours. Since their invention, kilns have changed very little, though in the past 20 years, a lot of progress has been made in temperature control. Basically, a kiln removes the water from clay at temperatures of around 1,000 degrees Celsius. This allows anything you've made to set permanently in shape. It's a pretty ugly, heavy object that's hard to keep in a house or flat, so most people don't have one. You may think, can't I use my oven? Well, that's possible.
She mentioned something like a kitchen appliance. Can I use my oven? She mentioned that's possible.
But domestic ovens don't really get hot enough.
Domestic oven don't really get hot enough. So the kitchen oven cannot get to the 1000 degree. That's what she mean?
And eventually the clay will crack and fall apart.
Okay, so I think that she want to try to talk about the use instead of one.
Okay.
Yeah. Not way of keep them safe.
Some people fire pottery in a fire pit outside, but bear in mind that can be dangerous.
Okay. Yeah. Some people bear in mind it can be dangerous. And with number 19 and 20, this one is no. We would go back to 19 and 20 as well.
You also need to know about safety procedures for kilns as they release toxic compounds into the air. Every potter needs a potter's wheel. This machine is used to shape the clay into an object with circular walls or sides, such as a bowl. Its invention revolutionized the pottery industry, allowing multiple items to be produced in a day. Lastly, there are a number of different tools that potters use, depending on what they want to make. When you start, your hands can make all kinds of shapes and curves without relying on a sculpting tool. However, there are some basic tools that you will need.
What did she say? She mentioned some
Something
basic
about basic tools.
that you will need, right? So basic tool that you will need talk about a few essential items. This one. Yeah.
To handle the clay on the wheel.
To handle the clay on the wheel.
Some look very strange and have even odder names that you may find hard to remember.
You see, hard to remember. Some other names are hard to remember.
Rather than go through them all now, I'll just name a few tools as we go along. We can provide these, and I
We can provide these, so she's going to name some tools.
wouldn't recommend spending money on them yet. So, let's try making a
So she will provide them the tools, and she recommend that they shouldn't buy them yet. So it's not about hard to hold, it's just hard to remember the names. And she doesn't mention about buying anything. So that will be the last one, available for use by participants. You will give the tools to them.
Okay.
And that for the number 18, 19, and 20. Now we continue with 21. The discussion of two students. So they both believe are responsible two things that are responsible for the increase of loneliness. Social media, smaller nuclear family, urban design. You know nuclear family, right?
Yeah.
Longer lifespan. What about this one?
Yeah, I know that you live for like too long or something.
Lifespan, that means like the age of people
Yeah.
tell the possibility of living in life. Tuổi thọ. And mobile workforce, lực lượng lao động di động. That means a group of people who can move around for work. And then they mentioned the health risk that relates to loneliness, that they agree and based on solid evidence. Solid evidence, that means like exact and correct evidence. Immune system. Do you know this one? Dementia.
No.
So which one do you know?
Immune system, cancer, obesity, and the last one I didn't know that.
Cardiovascular disease related to heart disease. Tim mạch. Okay. And dementia is about losing memory, like Alzheimer.
Oh. Okay.
Dementia. Losing memory, cardiovascular disease, that means heart disease. So they also mentioned opinions that they express about evolutionary theory of loneliness. Or its practical relevance. Little, that means they don't have enough practical importance in life. They need to look into further investigation. That means they have to study more about it. Misleading. Do you know this one?
No.
It's easy to mistake. I would say dễ nhầm lẫn. Yeah. Like the topic is so confusing, they may get the wrong idea. That's misleading. Widely accepted. Probably maybe like international accepted, or they approve that. Difficult to understand. Okay. We will start 1 to 26.
Now, Dev.
Okay,
We go through the notes we've made from our research into loneliness now, Dev.
Okay, Samara. It's been a real eye-opener. I had no idea that loneliness has been increasing steadily for the last 20 years.
I know. And it's the same all over the world. The downside of a modern lifestyle, I guess.
Did you come to any conclusions about what the reasons for the
It's because of the time. It's okay. I can.
Ielts 20.
It's okay. I can fix
coming
that.
here? As far as I'm concerned, workshop. Have a look around. There's a lot going on because it stands the test of time. Things like baskets and pictures don't survive in the earth in the same way that pots do.
Okay, let me locate the...
We'll provide aprons to make pottery that will wheel.
Steadily for the last...
Okay, right here. We can start now.
Listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26.
Shall we go through the notes we've made from our research into loneliness now, Dev?
Okay, Samara. It's been a real eye-opener. I had no idea that loneliness has been increasing steadily for the last 20 years.
I know. And it's the same all over the world. The downside of a modern lifestyle, I guess.
Did you come to any conclusions about what the reasons for the increase are?
Well, I'd assumed it was mainly an issue for the elderly, but in fact it's something which affects young people just as much.
So nothing really to do with longer lifespans. What about social media? In my case, far from making me feel isolated, it actually does the opposite.
It definitely does more good than harm. I'd say loneliness has a lot to do with the way cities are designed. People living in high-rise flats with not much opportunity to speak to their neighbours.
I think you're right.
Another possible reason is that people are having fewer children and don't live in large extended family groups.
But in this country anyway, that all changed decades ago. And yet loneliness is a more recent problem.
I suppose so. A more plausible explanation is that people are having to move around for work and often end up living miles away from their family and friends.
That's true.
Looking at the studies on health risks and loneliness, there are claims that loneliness has as much impact as smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
Or similar to the risks caused by obesity. But I'm not sure there's enough evidence for some of these claims.
Well, what about that one in Finland, which showed that loneliness increased the risk of cancer by about 10%? And those findings have been supported by other studies too.
You're right about that one. I was actually thinking of the studies on dementia. Some found no association between loneliness and dementia, and others found the opposite.
Not exactly reliable then. There's been a lot of research on cardiovascular disease and whether loneliness contributes to that.
Yes, I read that it was hard to reach a judgment, as the definition of loneliness varied quite a lot, and the responses from participants were too subjective. But there's no doubt that loneliness contributes to a weakened immune system.
Unquestionably. The data on that is sound.
What did you think about the evolutionary theory of loneliness?
Well, I thought the idea that loneliness evolved because it motivated people to be with other people quite convincing. Survival often depended on group cooperation.
But I don't think there's enough evidence to claim that there must be a group of neurons in our brains which influence social behaviour by making us feel bad when we're alone.
There are a few studies which support the theory, but not conclusively enough. More evidence is needed.
And anyway, this theory's not really useful when it comes to solving the problem of loneliness today.
True.
Before you hear...
What's your guess of 25 to 26?
I think it has a little practical relevance and maybe difficult to understand. I think so.
The first one is correct. In the next one, I will go back a little bit here.
Not really useful when it comes to solving the problem of loneliness today.
True.
Loneliness
The risk of cancer by about 10%.
You're right about hard to reach a judgment,
Okay, right here.
as the definition of loneliness varied quite a lot, and the responses from participants were too subjective. But there's no doubt that loneliness contributes to a weakened immune system.
Unquestionably. The data on that is sound.
What did you think about the evolutionary theory of loneliness?
Well, I thought the idea that loneliness evolved because it motivated people to be with other people quite convincing. Survival often depended on group cooperation.
But I don't think there's enough evidence to claim that there
He said then it not enough evidence. He mentioned that.
Yeah.
must be a group of neurons in our brains which influence social behavior by making us feel bad when we're alone.
There are a few studies which support the theory, but not conclusively enough. More evidence is needed.
She mentioned more evidence is needed. So they both agree that more evidence. Which one is more evident? Only further investigation here.
Yeah.
So 25 and 26 is the two first one. 23 and 24, can you mention the risk associated with loneliness?
I think it's a weak immune system and cancer. I'm not sure about the immune system.
He said no doubt, and then she agree with him, like something like reliable at the end before they jump into the evolutionary. So it's very close to the end, but I agree that they mentioned cancer and immune system. Yeah, they talk about cardiovascular disease and dementia, but then they both agree that immune system is the risk associated with loneliness. He said no doubt. She said unquestionably. Unquestionably. Things like that. 21 and 22.
It mobile workforce and urban design.
Yeah, okay. I think that all good. So we continue with 27 and 30. When comparing loneliness to depressions, okay, that's a different thing. Depression is trầm cảm. It's a mental disease.
Yeah.
A mental problem, so that's different with loneliness. And they compare to these kinds of mental statement. They doubt that there will be a medical cure for loneliness. Claim that the link between loneliness and mental health is overstated. Overstated, that means they exaggerated. From the last time we talked about advertisement, exaggerated. Try to talk up too much information when it's just the reality is not like that. Frustration is not taken more seriously, so they're not happy that loneliness is ignored. In 28, you need to find a reason why they decide to start their presentation with an example from their own experience. They want to explain. They want to highlight a situation. They want to emphasize that it's common thing for men. 29, the student agree that talking to strangers is a good strategy for dealing with loneliness. So because it's a sense of belonging or self-confidence or make people feel more positive, students find it difficult to understand what solitude is considered to be. Solitude, that means loneliness. Sự đơn độc. So they think it's difficult to understand this one. Where it's similar to loneliness, or because loneliness is a feeling, but solitude is like a statement. Yeah.
Okay.
Necessary for mental health or enjoyment experience. Okay. Before we listen, can we take a break around 2 minutes?
Okay.
Hi, Rachel. I'm just back. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. We will continue.
And anyway, this theory's not really useful when it comes to solving the problem of loneliness today.
True.
Questions 20 to 30.
Should we look at the relationship between loneliness and mental health now?
Okay. So, loneliness and depression are clearly related, and that's been recognised by various governments around the world. But unlike depression, loneliness has no recognised clinical form.
There's no available diagnosis or effective treatment, and that's not likely to change.
I don't think so either. I was thinking we should start our presentation with an example from our own experience. I'd like to talk about how lonely I was when I started university, being away from home for the first time and all that.
Good idea. Everyone will be able to relate to that, although a lot of students were probably too embarrassed to admit to it.
Yeah. We could discuss ways of dealing with loneliness as well, like just talking to strangers.
Loads of studies have shown that interactions with shop assistants and bar staff make people feel more optimistic and relaxed.
I don't know about that, but it must make people feel more connected with their community.
True, although you need to be a certain kind of person to be able to just strike up a conversation.
Good point. We should say something about solitude and how being alone and being lonely aren't the same thing. It's strange the way some people can't stand being by themselves while others love it.
Yeah, the research shows a certain amount of solitude is beneficial for well-being, which I appreciate. But being alone isn't something I actually like. I'd never choose to go on holiday alone, for example.
Me neither.
Well, let's not...
Hey, what do you think about 30?
I think I don't know.
So we could skip that part in 29?
I think it's C. 28. 29C, 28B, and 27, I think is B.
Okay, we could start with 27 first.
Loneliness and mental health now.
Okay. So, loneliness and depression are clearly related, and that's been recognised by various governments around the world. But unlike depression, loneliness has no recognised clinical form.
It's not recognized clinical form. You know, like the clinic, right? It's not considered as clinical form in something.
There's no available diagnosis or...
No available diagnosis. Diagnosis.
or effective treatment.
Effective treatment.
So A.
Yeah, effective treatment.
And that's not likely to change.
That's not likely to change. So they doubt that there will be ever a medical cure for loneliness. And B, highlight a situation that most students will recognize. That's correct. But we need to look back at 29 because most of you will think it's C, but it's not C.
I don't think so either. Example from our own experience. Being away from home for the first time and all that.
Good idea. Everyone will be able to relate to that. Although a lot of students were probably too embarrassed to admit to it.
Yeah. We could discuss ways of dealing with loneliness as well, like just talking to strangers.
Loads of studies have shown that interactions with shop assistants and bar staff make people feel more optimistic and relaxed.
I don't know about that, but it must make people feel more connected with their
You see, you feel more connected.
Community.
True.
With community. When they feel connected to community, it tend to a sense of belonging, right?
Belonging. Yeah.
Yeah. And number 30, a solitude and loneliness.
True. Although you need to be a certain kind of person to be able to just strike up a conversation.
Good point. We should say something about solitude and how being alone and being lonely aren't the same thing. It's strange the way some people can't stand being by themselves while others love it.
Yeah, the research shows a certain amount of solitude is beneficial for well-being.
We mentioned beneficial for well-being, right?
So B.
Wait a second. Well-being.
Okay.
Which I appreciate, but being alone isn't something I actually like. I'd never choose to go on holiday alone, for example.
Me neither.
Well, let's not...
So, because he said like beneficial for well-being, beneficial is a different thing from necessary. It's a create benefit, so that means it can be an enjoyable experience rather than necessary. Yeah. And we both agree with that. Okay. The rest of it, 31 to 40, is about urban river. Okay. Let's see if we have time. If we don't have time, we will just stop at 35, okay?
Okay.
You have some time to look at questions 31 to 40.
Do you have any question before we listen?
No.
Okay.
And answer questions 31 to 40.
It's quite hard to think of a city that doesn't have a big river running through it. If you think about the major cities in the world, Shanghai, New York, Mumbai, London, they're nearly all built on rivers. When these cities were established hundreds or even thousands of years ago, the rivers were a big part of people's lives. In 16th century London, the quickest way to get from one part of the city to another was by river. But people also used the river for fishing, as the water then was relatively clean, and they would also go on boat trips up and down the river just for pleasure, as a relaxing escape from the noise and bustle of the city streets. But as industries developed and populations increased, city rivers suffered. The rising number of people meant there was a huge increase in the amount of sewage discharged into the rivers. Rivers had always been used for this purpose, but when the number of inhabitants was so small, that wasn't such a problem. However, as cities grew to over 1 million inhabitants, the impact on the rivers became more serious. In addition, other types of pollution increased as factories were built beside the river and discharged their waste materials into the water. This got worse over time. As recently as 1957, scientists at London's Natural History Museum declared that the River Thames was dead in biological terms, as the water was too filthy to support any kind of life. But in recent years, as rivers lost their industrial function, cities have begun to recognize their true value and to take steps to clean them up. For example, the River Thames is now cleaner than it's been for 150 years. These days, you can see seals swimming in the water, and recently people had to try to rescue a whale, which had got lost and swum up the river from the sea by mistake. Unfortunately, they didn't succeed, but the problem was disorientation rather than the quality of the water. Then, all around the world, riverside areas are now seen as prime sites for development. Warehouses that were once used for storing goods are now being converted into expensive restaurants and also into apartments with river views, which are in great demand and sell for astronomical prices.
What you get for 31, 32, 3 and 4?
I think from 31 is factors, 32 dead, 33 I don't know, 34 apartments,
It
and
should be
factors.
factories.
Yeah,
you skip
factories.
and that.
Yeah.
This one,
33 I can't. Oh well, okay.
there's a well. Like recently, there's a well. They rescue a well.
Mm-hmm.
And 34,
So, apartments.
that's correct.
And 35 I don't know.
No, I just stopped at apartment, not yet to start with 35,
Okay.
because the time is really, we only have a few minutes. So I'm going to share the link to you so you can continue 35 to 40. But factories is the correct. Dead, the well, he mentioned that we should rescue the well. right here.
From the sea by mistake. Unfortunately, they didn't succeed, but the problem was disorientation rather than the quality of the water. Then, all around the world, riverside areas are now seen as prime sites for development. Warehouses that were once used for storing goods.
No.
This got worse over time. The History Museum declared that the River Thames was dead in biological terms, as the water was too filthy to support any kind of life. But in recent years, as rivers lost their industrial function, cities have begun to recognize their true value and to take steps to clean them up. For example, the River Thames is now cleaner than it's been for 150 years. These days, you can see seals swimming in the water, and recently people had to try to rescue a whale, which...
You can hear? At that part?
Yeah.
People try to rescue a whale.
Yeah.
So, factory, let, well, in apartment. So this is the link, and I will summarize some vocabulary from this one and send it to you.
Okay.
So I get yeah, next week you want to keep the same timeline, right? The Wednesday and Friday.
Yeah.
So from this week, this will be a stable timeline. Wednesdays and
I
Friday.
hope so.
Yes. Wednesday, 4 p.m. and Friday, 1:30 p.m., right?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I better set it up. 20. Oh my God, why I set up 27?
Oh.
Let me try again.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Okay, I'm done setting the timeline. All right, so I get that's it. We only have 2 minutes left. Any question for me?
No.
Yeah, I will send you a few questions, maybe 3 or 5 questions about a speaking topic for you to review and send me some audio practices. Yeah. I think that you don't have to record video. You can record audios for me just to reduce the volume of your memory, the volume of the files.
Okay.
Yeah. You can use like Zello recording audio functions as, yeah, you don't have to record video because it will take like a large volume of your mobile phone and devices. Okay. Okay, so we
Okay.
can save some space. Thank you for your
Yeah.
time today. I'll see you next week.
Okay.
Goodbye,
Okay.
Rachel.
Thank you.